This footage from a 1976 BBC Current Affairs report was only ever shown once on television, but the memory of it has haunted many of those who saw it ever since. It's a nationwide report about a werewolf figure that was associated with two Celtic stone heads found by children near Hadrian's Wall, on the border between Scotland and England. The footage lay untouched in the BBC archive for almost 50 years, with its sound believed to have been lost forever. However, thanks to AI voice recognition, much of the original audio has been discovered, recorded at the end of a religious affairs programme from a few weeks later. The stone items, known as the Hexham Heads, were sent to Dr. Anne Ross, a Celtic archaeology expert, who describes how, late at night in bed, she felt a cold shiver and something made her look towards the door.
And as I looked, I saw this thing going out of it. And it was about 6 feet high, slightly stooping, and it was black, against the white door, and it was half animal and half man. The upper part, I would have said, was a wolf, and the lower part was human. And I would have again said that it was covered with a kind of black or very dark fur. And it went out, and I just saw it clearly, and then it disappeared. And something made me run after it. A thing I wouldn't normally have done, but I felt compelled to run after it. And I got out of bed, and I ran, and I could hear it going down the stairs. And then it disappeared towards the back of the house. And when I got to the bottom of the stairs, I was terrified.
Did you see this thing again?
A few days after I saw it, we had to go up to London, and our teenage daughter had the key and came home from school at about 4, and we got back from London at about 6. And when we opened the door, she came to it, and she looked extremely pale and terribly shaken. Finally, I got it out of her what had happened, and she had opened the front door with the key, and as she opened it, a black thing, which she described as being as near a werewolf as anything that, she could imagine, had leapt halfway down the stairs, had jumped over the banisters, and landed with a kind of plop, like padded heavy animal feet. And it had rushed towards the back of the house, and she had felt compelled to follow it. And it disappeared in the music room right at the end of the corridor. And when she got there, it had gone, and then she realised she was terrified. The day that the heads were removed from the house, everybody, including my husband, said, it's as if a cloud had lifted. And since then, there hasn't been really a trace of it.
We saw dozens of Celtic heads in our travels around the country, and none of them would win any prizes in a beauty competition. With something less than enthusiasm, we tried to trace the two that were being blamed for all the aggro. We didn't find them. It seems that the various people who had them were only too happy to see the back of them, and they weren't terribly worried about where they went. Well, do you believe it?